Okay. Hello, Bubbles. You want to sit here, Bubbles?
No, I think old man cannot climb already.
Yeah, you carry 啦，让他坐，给他一点 airtime.
I think 他要跑下来。
Oh, hello, Bubbles.
10
Okay. Hey, so May, so earlier on we were talking about, how corporate life give you the connection to people, right? So yeah, on this topic of connection.
What? You agree, is it?
Very good. Agree with your mommy. So on this topic of connection, where I myself, I'm trying to reconnect with my friends, reconnect with my family to make sure, I'm spending that really quality time with my mom, enjoying that quality time with her, doing things with her, just, chit-chatting with her outside of home. And so when it comes to connection, what comes to your mind?
I mean, of course, when you mention connections, right, obviously the main component would definitely be people, right? So I think when you talk about people, I mean, of course, you always start with people that are your loved ones, right? Or some people within your close network in that sense. I mean, frankly, I think being in a household with someone with special needs, which is my sister, I mean, for the audience who are not aware, and also staying with my mom, right, in the same household, I mean, naturally, there will be a lot of conflicts related to caring for someone with special needs itself. So when you talk about connection, I feel like there's a lot of things that I can improve on in terms of my connection with my mom. Like earlier on that you mentioned that you find a lot of joy in spending quality time with your mom, chit-chatting with her, going out with her, etc. For me, I mean, of course, I want to do that as well. But I just feel that sometimes whenever we strike a conversation, I just want to keep it very brief and short, because knowing that sometimes I can get impatient or maybe disagree with her way of thinking. That, sometimes little bickering or arguments could happen. So I feel like when you talk about connection, that was something that I was thinking about, whereby that is something that I feel like I can really improve on. Then I guess regards to connections as well, I mean, I'm also learning. I also think that it's a virtue to not to judge people, and to really, how should I put it? Not to judge people, and really to always think in the different perspective. I think maybe because I'm a Taurus, right? So maybe a bit more stubborn, right, in certain ways of thinking. But I always try to learn how other people perceive things differently from me, and how I can also accept their opinion. So I feel like this is something which I can be quite headstrong in, which I need to improve.
Something like agree to disagree. When is something like that?
I wouldn't say it's agree to disagree, more like once I think that this is the way to go, or this is my opinion, it's very difficult to change my mindset. Yeah. But then of course, through some instances whereby I learned that, hey, actually the other person's perspective or the other person's solution or suggestion is actually not bad as well. That kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like over these years, even now, I'm much older, this is still something that I'm really quite weak in, that I hope that I can improve on in that sense. I guess to my earlier point, as I said, this is definitely an area that I need to improve on, and I can only see the good things that come out of it. I'm not saying that you must agree with everything your partner say.
Correct. Yes.
Because there's bound to be differing opinions.
Yes, definitely.
So I feel like, I mean, in fact, right now I could see it already. I mean, sometimes when my partner and when we are insistent in our opinion, sometimes it lead to maybe a little bit of argument. But then again, after that, we will just stay calm and just let each other know that, okay, fine, this is our opinion, just different, but it's okay, it's a small matter, let's just move on. No need to, we do not see the point of like having to so-called drag this argument to the extent that somebody must win the conversation or win the, you know, whatever it is. So I think that's something, at least I feel like over these years of relationship with my partner, this is something that we have been so-called coping well with, despite different opinions on things. Yeah, then I guess if I would like to really insist on an opinion or maybe bring a point across, usually I also need to, because my partner is a very logical person, he talks a lot about logic and rationale. So if I phrase it in a way that he can understand the rationale behind why I propose this or why I say this, it's easier for him to absorb. Or rather, maybe later on when he did try this and he feels like, oh, it works, right? Then he said, oh, May is right. Then yeah.
Yeah, I think this is connection that I'm talking about. Yeah. So you go, yeah. That's why I absolutely agree. Because true experience. I think you have to have an open mindset that nobody I would say, like, you don't have to accept opinion of others, but not necessarily that, you know, there has to be a win or lose, a right or a wrong. So it's about talking through, you know, acknowledging that, okay, you have your opinion, I understand that, and it's okay, we don't have to agree, but we can accept, you know, the ways, and then we move on. I think this is a very crucial part of communication and in the relationship and connection, right? Yeah, I think this draws each other closer, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so as well. And frankly, it can be very small things, you know, like for instance, I could be such an IT idiot, right? And he's in the IT field. So whatever he suggests about IT, okay, I know, okay, you're right. I will not challenge that. That kind of thing. So like for dogs, I'll be like, you know, playing with the dogs, motivating them or encouraging them to play with me. Then if my partner is the one who try to do the same, I will look at it as, hey, why are you so awkward? Even the dogs also like not really responding, that kind of thing. So depending on who is the subject expert, I guess we'll just leave the opinions to them, or rather have faith in whatever opinions or suggestions that they have. Yeah.
True.
I mean, it can be simple things like this.
I agree. So this month is a mental health awareness month. So perhaps, you know, if you can like share, how do you cope with stress, you know, basically, how do you take care of self-care? Yes.
Yeah. I think in terms of self-care, I mean, firstly, it really has to start in here. As in, like, you have to constantly remind yourself that, okay, there's only this much you can do, and there's only 24 hours a day, and if you really want to binge watch Netflix or you just want to snack, right, you just do it, you know, that kind of thing. I often remind myself that I need to have time for myself. So, I think regards to having so-called mental health wellness per se, I mean, personally for me, I'm not sure how other people do it, but I definitely will dedicate time, probably whether it's end of the day or intermittent parts of the day, to do things that I can just chill and relax. It can be things like just watching TV. It can be things like just eating snacks. It can be even things like having a short nap and stuff like that. Because I realize that even though right now my hours are flexible, sometimes I work late into the night. Yeah. You know, it's not like a 9 to 6 kind of job, right? Because sometimes when I have to prepare training materials, sometimes I have to do it probably after I finish dog daycare for the day. So I will use the after hours to work on those materials which have a deadline to meet. Yeah. So I'm a bit more mindful that, you know, having a breather may not be necessary towards the end of the day, but maybe slot some kind of breaks in between, in that sense. Yeah. And I think I'm very fortunate in the sense that, you know, sometimes, frankly, if I feel a bit, I mean, frankly, staying with parents is not easy. Okay. I mean, I stay with my mom and my sister. I do feel that sometimes it's okay to tell myself that it's okay that I need my time away from them.
Yes.
So that's why I appreciate that, you know, sometimes I will spend some time with my partner instead, along with my fur kids, which also is a form of relaxation, or which is a form of catching a breather myself.
Okay. Correct. So I trust there are certain, sometimes when you say you want to rush some deadline, there are some stress. So stress at work, stress with the things that you have to do.
Yeah.
So so you manage stress through like having me time, right? Like you say, like
correct.
watching binge watch, or maybe your favorite TV show or whatever. So, but does it come to a point where you feel like, wow, I really need to talk to someone? Would have you ever occurred to you? And if you do, has there been any point where you feel that you really need to break away, and you want to find something that to help you relieve this tension? How?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think in general, maybe because of my upbringing, I've always been quite a positive person. So I think that personality, or that upbringing, or that mindset, whatever you call it, definitely helps a lot. And I'm not somebody who keep to myself. I do have a close network of friends who I rant to. So I think that is important. Instead of being alone and suffering those tension or whatsoever. Like for instance, whenever I have conflicts, not whenever, but sometimes when I have conflicts with my mom, and I feel that there's this tension, I need to let go. I need people to understand where I'm coming from.
Yes.
Yeah, I speak to my partner. I also ran to some of my friends through WhatsApp group chat. So I do have avenues or platforms that
Like a community, right?
Correct. I think this is really important. So I feel that at least I have this community or close network that I choose to share all these feelings or emotions with. And of course, sometimes I do get a little bit I do get overwhelmed as well, because I have 3 dogs, right? I never imagined myself having 3 dogs, but it just happened that way. But sometimes caring for 3 dogs with 3 different ages, with 3 different personality, can be quite overwhelming, and whenever I come home, my mom will be making some comments about certain dogs, about their behavior, like, one of them is barking consistently, etc. Then I just felt that after a day work, I come home, I just want to chill and relax, but I have to hear all these things, which just didn't make my day any better, right? So that's why I say, at least I'm fortunate that if I want to just break away, especially at home, probably I'll just stay in the room, just to minimize any conflict, and just do my own thing, have my me time. And of course, other than that, if I need somebody to talk to, I will definitely initiate conversation.
I think that's very good way of caring for yourself.
Definitely. Yeah. I hope you are doing that as well, right?
Yeah. Yes. Through personal experience, for like share a bit about myself. Like I don't talk that much, and I don't share so much about myself. Not in the sense of not willing to share, but more in the sense that I don't know if people want to hear about it. And I'm also quite a private person, as in I keep my network very close, right? So sometimes I separate people who I think may not be that close with me, just like arm length away. So my close friends are really very small network, a very small network of friends, and sometimes they may have their struggles, they have their own problems and worries. So I may not necessarily share that much.
Okay. Because you are worried that you may overwhelm them even more, is it? Since they really have their own struggles to cope with.
Yes. And I don't want to appear like, I don't share that much day to day, right? And a lot of times. So I don't want to, when I have a problem, suddenly to jump and then, hey, I got this problem. It's so bad, So this may shock them as well. So I think through this past 1 year, after going through some personal struggles, I feel that having the connection with friends and also building a community, a network around you really is really important in terms of how you would say, giving yourself a safe haven, right? Some place where you can turn to and relieve your troubles. And I think this will really help with people who face I think face problems and need someone to talk to. So I mean, I'm happy you have I'm happy you have a community of friends that you already have right now. So I'm building one for myself.
Yeah, but remember, I think you may have a community, but you must take the initiative, right? Because you cannot have the expectation that everyone take the initiative or be proactive to check in on you. You don't say a thing, they may not know what's happening as well. To be fair to the other party.
Correct. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But talking about checking on you, my closest friend, she was away in Australia. So at the lowest point, suddenly she messaged. So it's just so coincidental.
Coincidental. Sometimes it's really affinity, right?
I don't know,
timing
telepathy or whatever.
Yeah.
But she recently came back and we have a good talk about our life. And she just said that, she can sense it through my posts, Instagram posts or whatever. I think, is it? I don't think so, but okay, since you feel so, maybe in that sense, it gives some subtle hint, and I think really close friends would sense that. So I mean, I'm blessed at least. I may not have a community, but I have a very small knit of clique of friends who keeps checking in. How are you? I think which is very important. Like just keep asking, hey, May, how are you? You know, and then 1 month later, check in again. Hey, how are you doing? I think it's a simple word of how are you. Yeah, I think it really helps. So it make you feel like someone cares.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's good.
So I think it's a good. I don't know. This month is the mental health awareness month. I'm glad we talk about this and just to say out to everyone that sometimes we don't have to be in touch regularly, but we will just a simple way of saying how are you. I think it just makes the person feel that people care.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, frankly, when someone says how are you, it may not necessarily initiate the idea that you have a problem or what, but it's really just a check on you, or we've not seen each other for a long time.
Yes.
Maybe just catch up for a meal, etc.
Correct.
So not necessarily correct. I mean, I get what you mean. Just to that one liner actually can mean a lot to somebody.
Yes. Yeah. Keeping the connection there. Keeping touch. I think yes. Okay. Oh yes. So on this note as well, we were talking about earlier. You say there's two things that's close. There are many things. So one of the two things is one of it is animal. You run a dog daycare. So if there's anything, you say that dogs don't have a voice, they couldn't say. So what would you want to say for them?
I think one reason why I'm so passionate about dogs in general, I think even though they can't speak, right, at least through the learnings that I've gotten from mentors or from courses that I've taken, they do exhibit different behavior, trying to tell us certain messages. So I just hope that, especially as dog owners or maybe volunteers or aspiring trainers or whatever, as in to really look out for these signals, to try to see what these animals are communicating. I mean, just like my own dog Marley, right? Like sometimes if he keeps coming to me, putting his head on my lap, everyone will think that, wow, so manja, blah, 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 blah. But knowing him myself, I know that it's a sign that he's probably needing something. And usually it's because he really needs to go down for a walk to probably poop or something because his stomach is not feeling too good. It could be simple things like that. I just feel that it's just unfortunate that with a lot of articles, a lot of reports, especially in Singapore, even though we are a small nation, we do see a lot of so-called varying kinds of animal abuse.
Okay.
And frankly, some of these acts are very extreme.
Yes.
So I just feel that because they cannot call for help, they do not have a voice, people do things to them. So I just feel that is totally not ethical. So that's why I say that I definitely feel very strongly about showing compassion for animals if possible. I mean, in this case, dogs, cats, etc. I mean, I'm not a vegan or whatever, frankly. I mean, I'm doing my best to eat less meat if that helps. Yeah, so
You don't eat pork.
yeah, I mean,
that is
I only take poultry and seafood in that sense.
yes, that is
but yeah,
cutting down.
kudos to those who are vegans, as in they show their love for the animals in a different manner. But yeah, that's probably what I really want people to really be more focused about. I mean, you may not like animals, like, I mean, your neighbors may not like dogs or whatever, but just understand that sometimes, how should I put it? They also have different behavior. Some are skittish, some are probably a little bit more friendlier, whatever. I mean, they typically don't mean harm in that sense. Yeah, correct.
Through your daycare, right? You know, you walk the dogs. You always bring the dog out. You know, for your during your daycare, bring the dogs out. How do you find the perception of the public, you know, towards dog? You know, yeah, basically, because I think I see a lot of time you handle different breeds. Some may be pedigree, some may be mongrels. So do you see a difference in the perception of the dogs? And is there anything you think that, you know, is actually really a lack of awareness?
I mean, generally, I think people who are not, generally, it's quite obvious, as in, like, when I walk dogs, maybe a pedigree, like a toy poodle, everyone will be like, oh, so cute, you know, that kind of thing. It's very rare to hear such compliments towards a Singapore special or towards a mongrel. Yeah. But I think other than that, I think most of my experiences are pretty okay. But of course, people who are scared of dogs, when they see me handling like a few dogs at one go, they tend to shun away or tend to be a bit more wary. Of course, me observing that in them, I mean, I'll also be more mindful, right? So I'll just clear the pathway for them, or making sure that the dogs are on a short lead and stuff like that. I mean, frankly, we must accept the fact that not everyone like dogs.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's why if I want the public to be more receptive of what I'm doing as a job or whatever, I also need to be understanding of how they feel, so that, you know, I also don't create a nuisance. So that it's like a win-win situation. If they see that, hey, my dogs are well behaved while walking, etc., hey, actually not so bad.
They have a positive.
Yeah, they have a positive association or positive impression, right?
Yeah,
rather than, oh, I let the dogs just go all the way on them.
Correct.
That will only so-called worsen the impression further. Yeah, correct. So
it boils down to the handler as well, the dog owner and the handler who walks their dogs, right?
Yeah, I guess
correct.
so.
So if sometimes some owners or handlers may be overconfident with their dogs and will just be off leash or maybe allow certain behavior for the dog, even though they are, you know, the dog may be very well behaved, but sometimes it's better to be a bit cautious than to be overconfident in the way they do things. So just in case, you know, there may be some triggers in the environment and the dog may suddenly snap or suddenly react differently. So I think it boils down to the handlers as well.
True. I mean, the dog owners in that sense. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, there's another topic you feel strongly about, right? We were talking about animals and
oh yeah. I think another thing that I feel strongly about is people with special needs. So I do have a sister who is intellectually disabled. So I feel like that also gives me the exposure of how people with special needs are like. And of course, there are varying degrees of people with special needs, right? So sometimes when I'm outside, I mean, when I see someone with special needs per se, as in, usually I'll be quite normal, as in I'm quite calm or rather
comfortable.
I'm quite comfortable with their presence in general. But I feel that maybe people who are not so exposed to this aspect will naturally be judging, hey, why is this person behaving like that? Why is that person doing such actions in public? However, they didn't think about the fact that these people may have special needs that trigger them to do whatever they're doing.
Yes.
And instead of showing that, you find that their behavior is very undesirable, showing all on your expression, or even saying nasty things, etc. I thought maybe people are usually too quick to judge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and that's why I'm also very, and of course, because I'm so, into this aspect, right? That's why even for my training, right? I feel like I was also very blessed that I was given opportunity to train people with special needs as well. So these people are typically, like maybe, autistic, and I think it also teaches me how I could make use of my experience being a caregiver for someone with special needs, coupled with my training skills, right, to engage this special group of learners.
Yeah, and also I believe there's more, you will be able to show more patience, right?
Yeah.
Patience and understanding. But okay, coming from maybe outsider, so maybe pardon my ignorance. Okay, yeah, I get it. I just feel like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I want to try a conversation outside, and I feel that in a situation, in a place or environment where I feel okay, there's this person sitting there, that person sitting there, inside of me, I feel that what's the situation there? So I just sometimes just don't know how to break the ice, which I feel that we can have more of this. It actually opens up the society in a way that we can talk freely and not feel like if like people are judging us. I mean, striking a conversation and chit-chatting is just a way of opening up a conversation, and it doesn't have to be judgmental. That's what I feel. That is my purpose of wanting to strike a conversation, because I feel that many times we are just keeping to ourselves, and we will tell our kid like, hey, you don't go over there, the person don't like. How do I know that the person don't like? My child is curious. Like, my child just a few years ago, right? During COVID. So I brought my boy to the coffee shop. We were having our meal time, at the coffee shop. And then suddenly he points, hey, Mom, what is this person doing? What is this person has no arm? Why he doesn't have an arm? So, and then I look over and say, I'm not sure, perhaps he is born with it, or perhaps he met an accident, he lost an arm. I don't know. I don't have the answer. So being a kid, right? They are curious about everything. So, but he keep persisting. I like wanting to know. So why? I say, I really don't know why. But so I told him, why don't you find out yourself? Why don't you go and find out yourself and walk up to the person and ask him why? Say, yeah, okay. Oh, really? And he did. So, but before he did so, I told him, okay, so you be prepared for two situations. Okay. Firstly, you have to introduce yourself, say hi, my name is Russell, I'd like to know what happened to your, arm. Why are you missing an arm? I mean, that's the most direct way lah. No flowery word, right? From I don't know, at that time he was only 4 or 5 years old. Okay. So expect two things. First, you introduce yourself. Second, your purpose. Why are you there? So now next, you have to expect two response. Firstly, the person will get upset and probably like tell you to go away. That sense is then you say sorry. Okay, then you come back. Okay, this I told. Second is the person will tell you what happened. Okay. Then you will learn what happened and satisfy this curiosity in you. Right? Okay. So he's like, okay, and he went. So the moment he went over there and approached the man, the man just like opened up his arm and then just talked to him and, blah, 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 and then he came back happy, satisfied, that he found his answer and his answer is answered. And before we leave, the man looked back and we look at him, we just smile and go. So I think this is a positive interaction. Yeah. Right? Agree? Yeah, it's a positive interaction. It's like one, you satisfy the child need. You don't just tell your child that, at least for me, my parenting style is, because when we grow old, we tend to have a certain, not when we grow old, when through our life, we learn to, hold back our opinion, hold back, approaching certain situation in the fear of maybe a backlash, and say like, people reacting differently. So, but for me, my parenting style is, if you want to know and you are brave enough to find out, go for it. What I can do for you is tell you how to approach it. Right? And then you satisfy your curiosity, and I think that's very positive, and that is a very good experience for him, for him as a young boy, so that he will always be constantly learning in different aspect lah. That's what I feel.
Okay.
So it turns out well lah.
Yeah, it's a very very heartwarming story.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Correct. But as you say, I think there could be different outcomes that come out from the situation. I mean, likewise, we keep talking about people. People are different individuals, right? So, I mean, naturally, I think Russell one day will eventually find out that not every outcome will be positive.
Correct.
And not every attempt can be that successful as well.
Correct. At least he tried lah.
Yeah.
At least he tried. I think that's okay.
And I think even for adults, frankly, even for myself, as in when I'm out there in the public, I also tend to keep to myself. I will definitely not take the approach like what you do to just approach anyone to chit chat, because to me, I just feel that maybe because I think
for the record, I haven't done so. I haven't done so.
You have this aspiration to do so, but for me, I feel like, when I'm eating alone, please nobody talk to me, please. I just want to eat and just go back and do my stuff and stuff like that. I just appreciate the time that if I'm alone, I just want to be alone. And of course, I have to respect that of other people as well.
Correct. True. That's true.
Yep.
Oh, anyway. Well, I think we have a very good talk today.
Yes, I learned so much from you as well. Things I've not known before as well.
I mean that's what it's about, right? Like really to like know each other. Like
reconnect as what you said.
Yeah, reconnect
in a different way.
Yeah, in a different way. Yeah, maybe I have to really find. There's a few people, at least in my top. The top of my list, a few people I really want to connect. Sometimes, there is these people who you haven't connect with, at least for me, haven't like really sit down and have a chat with. But on their Facebook, social media, you see that things are happening and you are just curious. So sometimes it may be a simple, how are you? But then you really, I feel like I want to know more in a personal level. Like, not just like, hi, everything okay? Yeah, I'm okay. And then, that's settled. Yeah, that's it. So, I think I have now come to a stage where I don't need many friends, but I like to stay in touch with the one that matters, and just to build on that connection with, just build on the relationship, build deeper connection, and who knows?
Yeah. And I wish you all the best for this little project that you embarked on, and may you build stronger bonds with those friends that you invite to your podcast. I'm sure you get to learn much more.
Yes.
And it'll be a win-win situation, as in they learn from you, you learn from them as well.
I mean, just knowing each other better. I think that's what I'll put it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.